Hi, it's about quarter after midnight on April 26th. I guess today's now the 27th. And I am the president of a company called AttachFamilies. We created our nonprofit to help families with children with developmental trauma disorder and reactive attachment disorder, any type of actual real attachment disorders. We work with families children who have been traumatized, abused, neglected, typically foster children, or children adopted from the foster care system, although we do have some families who have biological children who have RAD, or developmental trauma disorder, or attachment issues. This is my very first video. It's not pretty. It's not meant to be. I could have done my makeup. I could have made sure the lighting was great. I could have made sure I looked all pretty for the video, or as pretty as I could make myself, but I chose not to because there's really nothing pretty about this life. We live in a constant state of what I call a war zone. We spend all our days and nights fighting someone, whether it's our children, whether it's the system, whether it's educators. It's just a very little known about disorder. And basically what it means is that our kids don't trust. They were taught from a very young age, from infancy, that the people they were supposed to depend on, they can't depend on. And so they live in this constant state of fight or flight mode. And the closer you try to get to them, the more you try to love them, the more uncomfortable they feel. And so you become the enemy. So whereas my children aren't really dangerous to the outside world, they're dangerous to me. And we and many other families live with video cameras in every room and safety plans and, knives locked up, and all the internal doors have locks on them, and no one in our area treats reactive attachment disorder, and insurance companies don't cover the treatment that's needed. These children are automatically put into talk therapy when they're brought into care, and talk therapy, it was proven, I think, about 30 or 40 years ago, maybe even more by now, not to work with these children. So it's kind of a shame that the system itself is failing these kids. When they become a real serious danger to themselves or others inside the home, they wind up having to be placed into PRTFs. The PRTFs don't know how to treat developmental trauma disorder or reactive attachment disorder in any way, shape, or form either. So it's kind of just a holding place. I call them 24-hour babysitters while I try to work with my children on my own on their attachment issues. So right now I have one kid in the PRTF and one child who's home and unstabilized. Educators are unaware of it. Most therapists don't know what they're talking about when it comes to it. Police departments are not trained in how to deal with it. And the public at large, friends, family, strangers, basically just look at us like we're all bad parents. They have no idea what we deal with on a daily basis. They don't realize how calculating our children can be, how manipulative, how triangulating they are. I may use a ton of words that you've never heard before, so please use the comment sections to ask me what they mean, because I'll talk in acronyms sometimes. I'll say things like triangulating, and maybe you've never heard of that because you don't live in our world. But this is my introductory video, just to start it. I promised I would start a vlog this week. I'm going to start sharing personal stories of our families, while obviously keeping them anonymous. It needs to be said that a lot of our families go to jail because our children make false accusations. Our children have a lack of empathy. They have a lack of control. They are verbally and physically abusive in the home. They are self-harming. So we have to stay awake like all the time and make sure that they're not hurting themselves or, doing things that they're not supposed to. So RAD parents are always tired. Like, look at me, we're always tired. So that's pretty much why I didn't make myself up and look pretty. Maybe one day you'll see me with makeup on, but it doesn't happen very often because I'm always so tired. But our goal really is to get the word out there, to get more public awareness, because with awareness comes outrage, and with outrage comes change. So I basically use the analogy of bone cancer when I'm talking about my children. So I'm going to use that here too. It's as if my children have been diagnosed with bone cancer, but then I get told that we don't treat cancer in the Carolinas, anywhere in the Carolinas, and we're not going to send your child to where they treat cancer, so we're just going to put them in a full body cast. And we know that body cast stay on for 6 weeks. So in 6 weeks after they've been in this full body cast, we're going to take the cast off. And then everybody's going to be in complete shock on why my child still has bone cancer. That's the best analogy I can give, because that's what happens. There is proper treatment out there. There are things that work to help heal our children, but nobody wants to give the most vulnerable children in our country, the ones who have been abused, the ones who have been neglected, the ones who have been traumatized, the ones who have witnessed things and lived through things that most of us can't even possibly imagine. So we're failing them. Everyone is failing them. And until society is as outraged as we are as parents, until more people know that this exists, more of our families are going to be arrested. More of our families and the children within their home that don't have reactive attachment disorder are going to be removed and placed in foster care while their parents sit in jail for something they didn't do, because of ignorance, because of lack of knowledge that this disorder is real and it's serious, and these children have the ability to lie and get people to believe them in ways that you wouldn't be able to comprehend. And right now we have a lot of families in jail in a support group that I run called AttachFamilies Support Group. It's a private group for only parents and caregivers of children with reactive attachment disorder. And I'm sorry, it's just a very hard subject. I thought blogging was not going to make me be so emotional, but it is. There's nothing not emotional about the life that we have to lead every day, and I promise I'll get better at this vlogging thing. But please tune into the channel. Please leave some comments if you've had experience with it, and moving forward, I'll be sharing different private stories every week. Each vlog will be a true story, a true anonymous story, to hopefully help the world get a better understanding of what we're dealing with. Anyway, that's me. This is Attached Families, and thanks for listening. Bye.